I'm just prepping for, we're going to talk about starseeds today. So hit me in the chats. Where are you from? Are you a starseed? We're going to dive into not the woo, because I won't do the woo, but we're going to be diving into what's going on with starseeds right now. How do you know if you're a starseed? And then we're doing an energy forecast. So I'm just going to prepare as I get set up here. All right. And I'm going to open my chat. All right, here we go. So we got big vibes going on. And I know I usually talk about the Ascension stuff here. It's sort of intermixed with being a starseed. And I've got a couple of questions that I've been asked. So thank you for all of your comments and everything that you've been sending, whether that's through email or, hey, Bridget, or through the comments on here or the videos. Bree's been gathering all of those for me. Hi. Oh, you've had a tough week. Yes. All my love to you. It has been a wild energy. Hi, Lori. It makes me so happy. I've just got my ass back on TikTok and it is not very nice there. So thank you for sharing love with me and being a part of this journey alongside me. And I'm so grateful that I get to be of service here and offer all the stuff that I can. So let's dive into Starseed stuff. Hey, Rick, I do have a cat hair in my eye. So that's super fun right now. Hi. I'm just going to give everybody a second to show up. That way you don't have to rewind. My eyes are fine. Hi, Ash. Oh, hi, Bex. All of my favorites. Yay. Okay. So we are going to do an energy forecast for Starseeds. February is, before I get into the questions, February is a wild month. Okay. We say this every month. Like, I know I feel like a broken record, but it is just going to get more and more intense as we move through this journey together because we're moving towards in the evolutionary process. You guys know I shout it from the rooftops. It's not about spirituality. It's about an evolutionary process to your highest timeline, your highest expansion of universal wisdom moving through your body, moving through your ego self, and being able to bring that information forward to create unity for humankind and everything that's here on this planet. So I want you to throw, if you're a starseed, hi, Andrea. I'm seeing all of the hellos and hearts. Thank you. Throw your starseed questions into the chat bar. I'm going to do my best to keep my attention over here as much as the questions that I have on my paper as we move through what's kind of going on with us for February. So, hi. All right. Well, buckle up. That's right, Ash, right? So the forecast, yeah. When I recorded the week of the 5th to the 11th, I was having heart palpitations. I was like, oh my God, it's so intense. And our weekly forecast is a breakdown of every day and every night, how to navigate and use the energy to your favor. February is a huge month for Starseeds. So we are going to be feeling activations, connections, and enhancing in our natural gift sets. They are natural actually. So like telepathy, telekinesis, your energy healing modalities. I was taught a long time ago, I'm going to go in all the weird here today because you guys are my safe ground. I was taught a long time ago a lot of different galactic activations and healing techniques that I've been incorporating into a lot of different healing modalities that I did over the years. Now I don't have the honor of that one-on-one time with people, but I still teach those things. So you're going to be feeling all of these things. You're going to be having connection. You're going to be this lurking feeling of like something's watching me, like that. Like, ooh, what is that? Now, let's start with the veils are very thin between realms, if not gone. They've been dissipating all of 2023. They've been just vanishing, and we are highly connected into many realms. There's many parallel experiences here. The difference between a starseed and an indigo child. I'm going to try and jump back and forth between my topics here because that's a really good question. How do I put this without sounding like an asshole? We're just going to be an asshole. Our society, so to let humankind know that there is an advanced species beyond humanity wasn't obviously that didn't happen in the beginning. I'm going to be talking very, very deeply about this in the Galactic Ambassadors live special event that I'll be doing on February 7th. We're going to talk about all of it. I'm going to tell you how we got originated. We're going to be channeling. We're going to be doing all of that. But to keep it short here, we were created for a specific purpose by a higher species. And we've all gone through our own evolutionary process. So back in the day, before talking about star seeds was okay, before, because like I've been doing it since I was born in the 70s and I've always known about it. Wasn't cool then, wasn't safe to talk about it then. So, hi, Kevin. Um, so, this is my ADHD brain because I'm like, oh my gosh, hey. So, the way it sort of has unfolded is starseeds have been given different names through as we've moved through the generations, okay? So indigo child, light worker, now we're using starseed. I don't really even like that term. It's just what everybody identifies with. I prefer galactic ambassador. That's how I resonate with it. So they are all the same thing, all of them. You have a unique gift set. You are absolutely born with a mission here on this planet or a purpose on this planet. Um, Absolutely, and you know you are. You just know. You've always known, and then you go through this phase where it actually aches, where you're like, "How? Why? What?" Like, starseed. So let's talk about, how you know if you're starseed. So just a question, how do I sign up for the live? So email Bree at reachout@diamond.com to get signed up for the Galactic Ambassadors event on February 7th. There's a newsletter going out tonight that also has a very, very quiet private, although I'm talking about it on this fucking platform, so I guess it's not that private anymore. I'm doing a 4-week event of activating your ability to channel your galactic connections. So that's going in the newsletter tonight. So go to diamond.com to sign up for the newsletter. The details are going to be in there. We're not going to be publicly advertising it except for the occasional time that I mention it. So that's going to be starting in March, but we have the Galactic Ambassadors live event on the 7th, which is about a 90-minute event. It probably is going to go 2 hours. Hold on. So you can sign up for all those details and get the details for that. Okay. So where was I? The evolutionary process of humanity, starseeds. How do you know if you're a starseed? I get asked that question a tremendous amount. Hello, Ray. I've been thinking about you a lot lately. So to know you're a starseed, there's some definitive things. You, in the beginning of connecting into that starseed essence, that energy, that galactic ambassador, so as a child, I felt like I was born in the wrong body, but it just feels weird being human. You're just like, I don't understand what this is. I don't understand the purpose of it. You're very inquisitive as a child as to like, what is the point of being here? What's the moon? What are the stars? Like, what is all of that? Generally a fascination with the stars. Like, I can stare at the moon for hours. I love the moon. Um, just love it. This internal dialogue conversation of like almost talking to the stars or feeling a knowing that there had to be more than just God. You may be, depending on what starseed hybrid you are, you could be obsessed with technology, or you could be obsessed with the animal kingdom, or obsessed with like, and I mean, not just like I love the ocean, but like I need the ocean. That's Palladian energy. Techie energy is Syrian and Arcturian, and animal lovers, well, that's kind of all of them. So yeah, being an empath is absolutely a sign. She's been told she's an empath. However, I don't know if you have any idea she has both hands, born with 2 crowns. Whoa, Chris, that's crazy. Let that sit with me. I need to tap into her energy to know sort of what's going on there, and I don't want to do that here and accidentally channel something for her that's not for public. So you also, signs of a star seed, you generally will end up with some form of autoimmune condition at some point. That's not for everybody, but it is common. It's pretty common. Weird disharmonies in the body that make no sense. That's a sign of a star seed. The reason is there's so many signs that you're a star seed. I truly believe that everyone is. That's just I don't, well, maybe not everyone, but the majority. And anybody who's curious about like what's beyond being human and what is the point of being here, absolutely, you're here for that purpose. You're here for understanding your galactic connection. Now, the energy of a strong galactic ambassador, and it doesn't matter. I know I'm going to get asked a second here, like, how do I know what I am, what species I am? You're more than likely a hybrid. So you could be multiple versions. You could have spent many lives or be in many parallel experiences right now, understanding how everything's navigating, because Earth is the thing that's holding us back. So we're kind of at not the very bottom, but we're kind of at the bottom of the ring. And if you look at it like mountain climbing, everything has to evolve and ascend. So one person has to go up an anchor before the next can go up an anchor, and then up and then up. And Earth is holding everything back a little bit. We are behind schedule with our evolutionary process. But there is a plan to everything. There is a beautiful agenda on how things are going to unfold. And there's a lot of complications in us being a very survival based species and a very fear based species. We like to point fingers at, you know, how things are run on this planet, or, the medical things that have been coming out, things like that. We like to get all up in arms and be like, that's not fair, rah, rah, rah. But it's actually all part of a plan, believe it or not. So that's not what I'm going to bring here, because it's just going to trigger way too many people. And it's not important at this moment. So I will be talking about that on the 7th. So, a star seed is, or a galactic ambassador, you've had lives beyond this planet, and you will be naturally really gifted at something, whether that's singing, artistic, not my skill set, psychic for sure, highly intuitive, high empath, just this ability to read and understand humanity. But the biggest telltale sign of a starseed, in my experience of teaching this for over 20 years, is a child that comes from excessive trauma. It is almost as though we come in, we don't identify with our parents. We would be called the quote unquote black sheep of the family. We don't understand their direction or their unwillingness to create change for themselves. And we often experience a tremendous amount of trauma. The reason for that is when you understand firsthand what humanity requires to heal in order to move forward, you can step into a mission with that, which is what I've chosen to do, using my words properly. So that's pretty good indicator that you have a mission here on this planet and that you're part of that. And that can be something as small as coming from trauma and being a better parent or a better friend or a better lover than your caregivers were, to create that cycle of breaking old ancestral energy. So the energy runs through you. I just taught this in the Embody retreat that we had. Oh no, I'm sorry, the expansion retreat that we just had. You're born into, when you become the physical, you're born into your mother's womb. You are owning her energy. You were created, you were grown and marinating in her vibration, which is the lineage of what her caregivers taught, their caregivers taught. And so you're owning all of that. And you come in to understand it and change the vibration of the lineage. So that's what it's like when break generational curses, that kind of quote. That's what it is. Let me just look at the comments really quick here. Is it normal that your luck turns bad when it's been nothing but good? That's called the universal principle of rhythm. We have 12 universal principles. It's how the energy is governed in your system and how your vortex interacts with the energy around you. I used to call them universal laws. I don't anymore. So the principle of rhythm is, you will be going on, and like it's like a coiled spring. So you'll have this up and you'll be like, yeah, 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 yeah. And then there's a little down before you can have another up. That is continuous your whole life. But it doesn't mean that the lows have to be bad. That for me, they're very short. They're about a day long. And it's a day, an opportunity when we have those lows to integrate everything we've just discovered, whether we're in the healing journey or switching our perception or having energy attunements or any form of healing and evolutionary awakening, ascending kind of stuff. So the principle of rhythm is to allow you a little down to integrate, to rest and restore. So when you have downs, it's either you're integrating and resting for the next up because it's about to get really good and it always does, or it's for you to um, sort of take note of what is my body, my emotional body, my mental body asking to heal. It's like a check-in point and mostly for rest so that you can level up to the next thing. So without that little break, you can't have continuous waves of healing. It will overwhelm the physical body. It comes just a little bit at a time. You don't want to be overwhelmed with it. So there's that. I have no gifts at all. Could it be blocked? If so, yes. You do have gifts because I can feel your vibes. Um, Hardcore. So let me just connect into that. Okay, good, Nancy. It's turning around. Okay, so if you have no gifts, could they be blocked? This is one of my favorite topics to have a one-on-one conversation with. They're not blocked. They're never blocked. They're in there. They're always in there. The only thing that's preventing you from experiencing them is the story of not experiencing them or the attempt to try and force it. When we are trying anything, when we are trying to make it happen, when we are focusing on it, when we're doing endless intuitive TikToks and we're like, okay, we're using pendulum and cards and really trying to get it to go forward, what you're energetically saying is, I don't have, keep it blocked. So instead, it's trusting and allowing, really. If someone told me that 20 years ago, I would have flipped them the bird and been like, no, that doesn't work for me. But that is the truth. But we're going to be talking a lot about that on the 7th as well, like how to allow that to move through you. And then the course that I'm going to do, the 4-week course, I'm just going to crack you wide open because I can do that. So I'll be like, boop, boop. So there's that piece. Okay. So um, there is, I know we hear a lot about, where do I want to go with this? We hear a lot about like Palladian, Arcturian, Syrian, Blue Avian, um, Draco, Reptilian, Archangel. We hear a lot about all of these different species, right? The ones that everybody's talking about or has been talking about are the ones that are closest to Earth. Everything that's in within the vortex of Gaia. So we all have our own electromagnetic field. She has her own electromagnetic field. For shits and giggles, we're talking about it being a globe just to make it more comprehensible, but one day we'll talk about the other. So there's an electromagnetic field, and everything that's in that sphere is still mildly survival based. So everything has an agenda. So you're going to see channelers out there that are channeling Palladian. It's really starting to hurt my heart. This Palladian is still very much in survival mode. They're very loving, very, very loving, but they have an agenda and they want our evolutionary process to slow down, believe it or not, even though that's not what they're saying, because they own the ocean. They own, that's where their species are. So whatever species you are, you're here. Palladians own, like whales, dolphins, all of that are Palladian. And so they have an agenda for the evolutionary process of that and trying to hold back their evolutionary process to help the Palladians evolve. When we start to move through some big ass changes, we are going to see a massive shakeup on the planet and also a massive shift with where the oceans lay. So, which means a lot of the star seeds in the ocean are going to be quickly transferring over to the other side, and Palladians are not ready for that yet. So they are pushing the agenda of being controlled. They are pushing the agenda of the elite. They are pushing the agenda that this is wrong and that there's all of these things. And they're channeling through people to keep that agenda alive, to slow down the evolutionary process so that they have more time to do what they need to do with their star seeds on the planet. Kind of makes me angry because, like, we're all in this together. They're not all in it together. So there's that. That's a big bubble burst for a lot of people. Um, so there's that piece. Um, I saw a question on just notice that you're live. Thanks, Sarah. You're a starseed. You know her. All right, I'm going to scroll through here. How can I tell what species I am? It doesn't even matter what species you are. It doesn't even matter because you're probably a hybrid. What matters is what you're going to do with your energy here. Like, do we in the human mind truly actually know anything? We just think a certain way right now, and that can be altered in any moment. So, knowing what species you are doesn't matter at all. It's not going to change your game. What's going to change your game is connecting into the ascended version of yourself, into your ascended, family, the connections that are available for you. When you connect into those, you then understand your mission with more confidence and more power. When you connect into those, you are able to have a telepathic conversation to allow your attunement, your energy adjustments to lift your vibration, to expand your universal wisdom, to understand what you're meant to do here on this planet. So it's about the connection, not what you are. And you're probably a hybrid of a lot of things. I'm definitely a hybrid. So hopefully that brings you some comfort, but probably not because people get pretty stuck up on like, but I need to know. Doesn't determine your mission. Okay. All right, here we go. So, okay. I'm just reading all the comments. Thanks. All right. Um, I had some questions on, what's a starseed? We talked about that. How to know if you are one. I think just asking the question opens up the gateway that you are. If you weren't, you would be in absolute denial and you'd be hating my face right now. You'd be like, this chick is crazy. And that's how you know you're not a starseed. I do feel that the majority, if not all, but the majority at least, are on this planet. We're all galactic crossbreeds. We're also created from the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki created Homo sapiens. And so that in itself, combined with the Greys, did a little science project and got a bunch of DNA from a bunch of different things and was like, let's make this species. And here we are. And we've gone through our own evolutionary process as well. Um, so definitely drawn to the ocean. Always felt like something dropped me off on this planet. Yeah. And left me here longing. That is the biggest actual sign that you are a galactic ambassador is the longing to go home. Oh my goodness, for most of my life, that was my thing. As a little girl, I was like, I don't understand why I'm here. This doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand what's the difference between a boy and a girl and why does society teach us to like I was so confused. And even as a teenager. And then the ache to go home hit around 12 years old for me, all the way through till about probably 40. Um, just this like, oh, I just especially when you connect into it in your meditative state, you get to experience home. And it is euphoric and amazing and comforting. And you'll keep progressing to where you'll get visions of home. And you'll astral project and be home. And then you have to come back into this meat suit and be like, what the actual? Over the last 5 years, however, due to my connection and due to understanding really truly the power 369 is what changed it for me the most, like what to do with the power 369. I don't care about math, like what do I do with it? When I really truly embodied that and understood that, being human is the most incredible experience. And this is a girl who didn't try to leave, but being human is amazing, and you can arrive at that level. It's so good. It's so good because you just get to go home whenever you want. And this is home, and home is the energy that's in you. And it's just amazing. And then you can intentionally create your life. And it's so good. Okay. Like I've had so many experiences where just in the last couple of years, like when I first met my partner now, um, he was showing up in meditations a lot. Like, so I knew he was coming in. And I was on the other side of the country. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going back to Ontario, Canada. So here I came. And then when we connected, we are literally the same species. And I, in one meditation, astral projected to our home ship. I'm going all the way to our home ship and was shown the onset of me coming here into this mission and how he didn't want me to go. And because we were due to, I think we were just married or something like that up there, like some form of marriage is not the same as human. And I just come back from something else and had to come back to this. for the mission that I have here. And that's when my mission was also shown to me exactly how it was going to unfold. So in that astral projection, while I was on that ship with him, um, I had to go. I didn't want to come back because it can be very heavy, and I was disputing it quite aggressively. And was given permission to leave with me, but I was denying it. And he went while I was disputing it and already left. And he was actually born just 6 months before I was, which is crazy, weird, awesome. And our paths have crossed 100 times, and we've never actually met until we were meant to meet, until I was ready in my starseed knowing. So you'll get like visions like that, and you'll get your connections, and you do have starseed family here. You do have another human that is from your home base here, whether that's a friend, adopted sibling. I have an adopted love you. I have an adopted brother. He's here today. My current partner is from the same thing that I am. So you will collide when your vibration allows you to line. Oh, did you, Rob? That's amazing. Sarah Rose is amazing. She's my top elite mentor right now. She's so great. All right, let me read some more comments. Do multiple star seeds incarnate in one family? I don't know if there's a solid yes or no to that. My birth sister is one of the most loving, incredible, light and love, super sweet, super sparkly starseed. I am not, and I think that we're from very different things, but we're both born through the same birth parents. So you can be, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. I am seeing with families, however, now generations that are being born that are around 6, 8, 6, 4 years old, they're all coming together. So that's really cool. Yeah, she is amazing. Okay. So next question, are the ancient gods there's two questions. Ancient Egyptians and the Anunnaki, or ancient gods and aliens, how is this all connected? Ancient gods are Anunnaki. Not all of them. There's ancient gods are galactic energies for sure. Absolutely. Um, like if you look back at all the pictures and like it's evident, like they fly in on light and they have wings and like all the yeah. So there's that piece. Um, what was I going to say? I want to talk about how to connect into them a little bit, but I really want to be here to answer your question. So I'm going to pay attention to the comments. I'm a st- am I a star seed if I am from another realm of Earth? Yeah, you totally can be. We live multiple, multiple parallel experiences at once. Your isness, what you guys often will refer to as soul, your isness is connected into multiple parallel timelines. For those of you that have taken the program Fully Awaken and Ascend, the third level, the very last part of the third level explains it and helps you understand how we're living in all those parallel lives at the same time. Um, and you can actually, this is something I'm really excited to teach. So I'm there's a lot of things flowing through me right now. So we just did the retreat expansion, which is the fourth level of Fully Awaken and Ascend. The fifth level is coming soon. It's almost done. But I'm going to show you in the fifth level how you can move your awareness, your soul, your isness in a meditative state into another parallel timeline, bring back that knowledge, those gifts into this one and exchange them, like not exchange, but share them. So I've been practicing for a little over a year now, about 3 years, I think, going into parallel lifetimes and doing a quick study in one meditation and bringing back that gift into this life. I should probably try that with singing because I love to sing and it's not fair to my family that I do so. So maybe I should go find the life that has singing in it. But you literally can, and you can bring wisdom or gifts or any of that through into this experience. So, Lori, what are your thoughts on the RH negative blood type connection? RH negative, I'm O negative, RH negative, starseeds. 100% and the most powerful star seeds. RH negative comes from a mix of, I'm going to say this with all the love, um, Draco. So Draco is the strongest psychic, the strongest energy. They created the reptilian. So reptilians totally got a bad rap, right? Everybody thinks that they're these horrible creatures. I'm going to explain all of that on the 7th. They're not. They they're very fear based. They feed off of fear, but we're offering it to them. Just don't take the fucking bait and they'll go away. But the Draco is their creator sort of thing. So like a couple of levels up above them. So they are beyond powerful and like so powerful that if in greed can be dangerous, but they are in their own evolutionary process as well, from low density to high density or higher vibration. So they're shifting. I'm Draco. I'm a Draco mix of Draco and Anunnaki. So and both of those have a bad rap, but I don't know. I'm like I got a big heart. I'm a good person. So you don't know your blood type. Want to know? Go figure it out. Yep. Um, yeah, so there's that. I'm just gonna make sure that I didn't miss any questions. All your grandkids are eaten down, yeah. Hmm. Okay, I think I'm up to date here. Cool beans. All right, let's continue on. It is so hard to find real information about star seeds. I really took my time going public with this. It wasn't something that I even would even consider talking about until about a year ago. And only because those in fourth dimensional consciousness, so humans go through their own evolutionary from 3D to 9D, and then Gaia goes through hers, and so they're all a little different. So you hear a lot of people talking about Gaia anchoring into 5D. It's its own thing, whatever. But humanity goes through their own evolutionary process, and that's up to you what dimensional consciousness level you are in. There is no set, here we go, everybody's in 5D. That's bullshit. You have to do the work to arrive there. So we're born into third dimensional consciousness. Fourth dimensional consciousness is when you begin to wake up, and it's very exciting. And you start to believe in archangels, which are not real, by the way. Archangels are actually just fleet of Galactic. That's the name of their fleets. So there's that. Um, you start to believe in archangels, spirituality, yoga, veganism, tarot cards. Like you start to become like woke as fuck. Like all of you look spiritual. Like you wear the clothes, you do the things, you do the light language, you do all that bullshit. And it's awesome. And it's super exciting. I went all in with that, like the clothes, the jewelry, the hair, like, oh, I was there for a bit. And it's not a negative thing. However, fourth dimensional consciousness is still when you're still shunning ego to some degree. And so you're not allowing universal wisdom to move through the ego self. You're confusing it. And there's still a strong desire in fourth dimensional consciousness to be important. So you get a little showboaty, you get a little preachy. If you go on TikTok for half a second and you see people flipping tarot cards endlessly at mad fire, like somehow they're going to give you the gift that God wanted you to hear. Like, I don't even understand it, but here we are. Thank you, TikTok. Ugh. Um, so you're kind of stuck in this phase, and to move into fifth dimensional consciousness, there it's a very small birthing canal that you have to go through, and that's your actual dark night of the soul, not these momentary moments of depression and self-victimization like a lot of people are thinking is their dark night of the soul. It's the actual dark night of the soul, and the dark night of the soul is so beautiful. Does it hurt? Obviously, you're healing shit that you don't even want to look at, but it's very beautiful. It's not painful. It's just really uncomfortable, but you are so aware of, oh my gosh, I'm changing this. Oh my gosh, I'm doing this. And that's when you dive really deep into healing your subconscious. And then you arrive into fifth dimensional consciousness. And then in fifth dimensional consciousness, you start to bounce between 5 and 6. And it's just like a ping pong ball. Like there's like you just start bouncing all around, and then you birth through into seventh, and then you can kind of float between that. So fourth dimensional consciousness is where star seeds are identifying that, okay, I'm a star seed. This is where the hashtag star seed came from, is all of those. and they're channeling through their lens still. So when they feel a shakeup that's about to happen, which you're going to feel, you're going to know when Gaia is about to do something. You're going to know when big change is coming. You're going to know that there's control in play, but there's good control, bad control, if you want to label it that. There's just control. Um, so you start to project over justice and freedom and all, but you're looking through your lens of survival. Therefore, you're not truly offering the the big um, depth and expansion of what the universal wisdom is asking to be delivered. You're still putting it through your lens, so you're still projecting, and it's still very fear based. So if there's anyone talking about mass destruction or all of these things, they're adding to the bucket of fear, which is keeping humanity in that survival instinct, instead of neutrality and acceptance, which is fifth dimensional consciousness. So I hesitated a long time talking about starseed stuff because I was like, ugh, I don't want to get in that pot. I don't want to be identified there. I worked my ass off to understand myself and heal myself to progress through that phase. And that's not where I'm playing. So I haven't. And now that I'm comfortable being spicy online and I don't give a shit anymore, I'm doing it. So, yes, we're talking about star seeds. Okay, let me just quickly look at some of the other stuff. Oh, we're going to talk. Let me write that down really quick. Ascension symptoms. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. Does autism, ADHD, or anything else linked with starseed? 100%. I am the alphabet. I've been, stamped by the medical system as the entire alphabet. I'm on the scale. I'm ADHD. I experienced dyslexia, like communication learning disabled, like all, vivid imagination. If you had crazy imaginary friends as a kid, or that's what you were told, those were your galactic connections. They were not imaginary friends. They are your galactic connections. So there's that. I had all of them to the point where they wanted to put me in the hospital because I just thought I was too disconnected or whatever. Okay, ascension symptoms. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Archangels are not real, they're fleets. Neurodivergent. Yep. 100%. Hi, Brie. I just realized that was you. Okay. All right. So, yes, neurodivergent. I think, come on, like these are all gifts. These are all gifts. I remember when I was, I don't know, I might have been 8, and I met a little boy at school that was, I don't know what the proper term in 2024 is, and I've lost the actual word for it. Someone read my mind and tell me what the word is. Children who are perceived as highly disabled. What are they called? Oh my God. Why is the word gone from my head? Anyway, I met a little boy that was, it's like right there. I've got half the word and I can't find the other half of the word and I don't even know why. Um, Not autistic, no, Down syndrome. It's Down syndrome. So I met a little boy who was Down syndrome, and I was engaging with him and chatting, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's the strongest starseed I've ever met." My experience, my perception, like the most loving, unbelievable, dirt off my shoulder vibration, like just incredible, powerful beings, incredibly powerful. And I feel the same thing with children on the autistic scale, or on the autism scale. My son, myself, like we just have a different way of functioning and a different ability to hypertask within self, which means you can hypertask information coming through, but also the ability to hyper focus on task, which means your meditations are so much more powerful when you understand, when you allow that to happen, right? So I, who knows, but I definitely feel that way for sure. Um, the ascension symptoms, star seeds, galactic ambassadors, we feel and says ascension symptoms more, oh, more than the average, that's for sure. And the when you hit fifth dimensional consciousness, like that birthing canal from fourth to fifth, and really in the beginning phases of fifth dimensional consciousness, the ascension symptoms are unreal. Oh my goodness. It does get better. It absolutely does get better. You're still going to experience them, but you don't even acknowledge it. You're just like, oh, well, that's that. And you just know what it is. Um, so you're going to be feeling them. And ascension symptoms can be common ones in ringing of the ears, muscle cramping, depending on if it's your human chakra system being activated more so, or your spirit connection, galactic connection, your galactic chakras. So if you're having massive pain from the upper back up, discomfort, sore neck, ringing of the ears, your eyes aching, sinus congestion, weird things like itchy ears, your teeth aching or vibrating. The arch of my mouth has drastically shifted over time. Weird headaches, heaviness on the shoulders, heart palpitations. Those are your galactic energies being coming in and enhancing your experience. Lower body chakra is your human ascension symptoms. So that's digestive upset, hiccups. Hiccups are one of them. Um, Spasming, Crohn's disease, irritable bowel, constipation, sexual fluctuation where it's like really great libido, really low libido, um, leg cramps, foot cramps, rashes. Those are also common. Tailbone vibrating, things like that. So it's super interesting, but it's just your body adjusting and trying to catch up to the energy that's moving through you. So there is gateways where the energy overall, like an umbrella, is different, especially with solar flares. Solar flares really move us, really impact the human body. And so when we have a lot of those, which is all part of a plan, when we have those, we get a little more flu-like symptoms or fatigue or deer caught in headlights is how I explain it. Like deer caught in headlights. Like I can be just like, I don't know what's happening, just completely out of body. I have no ability to be reactionary to anything. I'm just like, I don't know, I'm lost, dazed and confused. My imagination also goes way off during those timelines as well. So there's that. Stiff neck. I've had a stiff neck for like, oh, I did that, it cracked. That was nice. For about 3 weeks now, just energy moving through, and my upper back has been solid. It's like seized for a couple of weeks as well. Yeah. I've dated a few undiagnosed autistic people and I've been like, oh, that's why you're so interesting to me. Okay, let me read this here. Okay. So this is a great question. Just as we are star seeds, are there unawakened, say, lack for a better word, evil entities inhabiting humans or passing? I lost the comment because too many are coming in. Or passing as humans. Um, Evil, no. There's no such thing as evil. There's no such thing as perfection, and there's no such thing as the opposite of that. There's no such thing as really good and evil. It's just a human thing, actually. We're the only ones that perceive good and bad. And that's part of our conditioning and our training in order to keep us small. So evil, no. Is there star seeds walking around? How do we put this? How do we articulate this, right? Yes, there is. You cannot be possessed. There's no such thing as demons. Like, I'm probably the only person out here saying this. Maybe there is. I truly don't think there's anything such thing as demons. I think that there is low vibrational, high vibrational. The higher the vibration, the closer it is to the energy frequency of acceptance and neutrality. That's that's what creator energy is. So the higher your vibration, the more you become neutral, and you just whatever, and it just is what it is. The lower vibration you are, the denser that is. So it can be very fear based. It can be very um, fear based. Often leads to greedy. Greedy is actually the lowest vibration. Fear and greed are right down there with it. I don't know what other planets experience in regards to greed. Look at your neighbor. Look at TikTok. Greed shows up in so many sneaky ways. It has so many faces. It can be greed for financial. It could be greed for power. It could be greed for being important. It could be greed for being toxic with your vulnerability. Greed is a very hidden thing, and every human has it to some degree. Um, so, is there these lurking kind of energies? There's ver there's a lot of realms. I'm not gonna dive into it anymore on here because I just don't wanna bring this to this platform because I don't wanna get flagged, and it's not a this platform topic. But there is many realms, and all of those realms look a little bit different and have a different intention. You cannot be harmed. You cannot be, possessed. You cannot have any of those things. You can only have your reflection reflected back to you. So whatever you believe about spirit or ghosts or aliens or, low vibe energy, whatever it triggers within you creates a vibration, and that's the exchange that you're going to have. So when you move into neutrality, it's just there's nothing. I have nothing to offer to anything that doesn't serve me or enhance my experience or my wisdom here. So they just leave me alone. They'll show up once in a while out of curiosity, and I'll be like, no. So you can move out of that for sure. Okay. Service to self versus service to others. Hi, Shayla. I was really about to debunk what you said, but I love you too much. All right. Question. My daughter's cries every time when nature, whether it be at the park or just watering plants, we're moving and she wants to take. Oh my God. There's so many beautiful souls that are going to be landing on this planet, that have landed on this planet, that feel everything. I had to go run some errands, not errands, by errands, I mean, I had to go get my nails painted this morning. So it's a half hour drive for me. So I'm driving down the 401 and I'm having this out of body experience. And I drove by this truck that was transporting a bunch of pigs for slaughter. And their fear and their sadness and their ache overwhelmed me, that I started to feel energy. It was the strangest out of body experience. I'm driving down the highway. I drive by this truck with all these energies on it, and I'm sending like neutrality and like calm energy to it because wow, what a horrific experience. And humans are stupid, but here we are. But yet I eat bacon, so I'm adding to the problem. But anyway, so I'm doing that, and I can feel one tear building, and as that tear's building, one raindrop just runs down my windshield, and I was like, "Oh my god," it's just the energy around me, and it's like mind-boggling when you disconnect for those few moments and come into neutrality and you look around you and you look at what we've done and you look at the concrete running through forests. I live in Ontario, Canada. There's lots of green here, but there's these highways through it all. And you're just like, man, we've really fucked it up. I have these like moments of sheer pain. And then I come back into understanding that there is a plan, there is a rhythm, there is a agenda, lack of better words, there's an evolutionary process in motion and there is a plan for that. And everything that comes to Earth, one, out of the collective manifestation, meaning I need more bacon, I need more bacon, I need more bacon. Therefore, that energy becomes the about to be bacon and goes through that process because it's part of what's functioning right now. So they know. Um, Same thing with like KFC, like just rows and rows and rows and rows of life that is created just to be like, it just doesn't make any sense to me, but it's all part of what's in motion and we will move out of that. But you will have these moments as you move through your journey where it's overwhelming. It's completely overwhelming. Yeah, the 401. You're in Cambridge. Oh, nice. Yeah, so there's moments, and I'm definitely having a lot of out of body experiences lately. I remember when the first time or the second time I think I met Colette Baron Reed, and she was like, she loves driving motorcycle and she had to give it up because she's just out of body all the time. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm on my way there. It's I'm gonna need a chauffeur at some point. My goodness. Okay. Free range. Yep. I know, I feel that with pork too. I still eat bacon. Sunday morning, I always have a bacon tomato sandwich. It's a thing for me right now. But I with actual pork, and I actually have a very hard time eating most meat. Beef, I tend to be okay with if it's free, like farm beef. But everything else, it's like it just and it's not that I'm promoting being vegetarian or giving up meat or anything like that. It just doesn't sit well in my actual mouth. I don't I have such a hard time with it. All right. Yeah, I felt very emotional yesterday, Stephanie. The last couple of days have been a whirlwind of things unfolding for me and leveling into a different experience. And it's created a lot of emotion for me. And I don't generally experience that. Um, red meat. Okay. Bree, you just might be my chauffeur. Okay. All right. So, how to connect in is what I want to talk to next. And then we're going to move into the energy breakdown because I don't want to keep you sitting here while I'm staring at my paper and reading comments. Okay, so how do we connect in? I'm going to say, I'm going to stop looking at the comments for a second. I literally have to look away from my computer to stay undistracted. How do we connect in? So here's what you have to know really, truly, from like all of my heart to your heart. This is what you need to know if you really desire to connect in. You're going to go through phases. You're going to go through this is wonderful to this is horrible. You're going to go through phases of numbing out and distracting yourself with either TV, socialization, family, and then you're going to connect back in. You're going to go through a lot of phases of fully in and frustrated and fully out and back again. You can only receive or step into, I'm not sure what terminology to use here, but for your gifts to level up, for your vibration to level up, for your connection to galactic energy, to be able to see them, witness them, travel with them. These are all things that you are capable of doing. In order for you to arrive at that desired outcome, if that's your desired outcome, your vibration has to be high enough for that to happen. Most people fuck it up hardcore when they pretend and they go into trying to be positive. I've talked a lot today. So when you're trying to be positive, you're actually denying what wants to be healed. My biggest advice is guidance, I guess, because I don't believe in advice, but the biggest thing that I see when something comes up and you are feeling low vibration, when you're feeling sad, angry, depressed, anxious, mad, pissed off, judgy, you have toxic family and you're like, fuck them, I'm walking away and you're sassy with them, or your workplace, you're still mad at your workplace, or you're mad at your finances, or you're mad at your ex, or your partner who's not evolving, it won't happen. You won't connect in at all. You have to lift your vibration. And if you pretend that everything is fine, you are denying what you actually desire to heal. You have to. This is why I preach so hard about working with Sarah Rose or one of the other divine alignment mentors. You have to heal your beliefs that are holding you back. You have to heal them because the beliefs that are not serving you are low vibration and they are radiating out into your electromagnetic field. Your beliefs in your subconscious, which you don't even know what they are because it's 95% of thought is subconscious, your deep rooted foundational beliefs are creating your vibration. I have never met a human who has a perfect foundation. We have all had trauma. We have all been suppressed by society's standards. We've all been suppressed by either race or sex or whatever. We've all been held back. We've all had fear of financial flow, every single one of us. We've all had fear of when is the love of my life coming. We've all gotten cynical about love. We've all had some form of abuse. Those are belief structures that are still creating a vibration in your electromagnetic field. I have invested my entire life. My entire life, I'm, like, neurotic about it. What is going on in my vortex? What is going on in my energy? What are my beliefs? What can I heal? It has been my biggest mission on this planet is to heal myself, not for myself, but for you. Because when I understand what not to do, it allows me to understand what to do, and I have been there. There is nothing you could throw at me except for, the death of a child. That is the only thing I have not experienced. Everything else, yes, I've been there, and I can resonate. I can't understand your journey because I'm not you, but I can resonate with it. And I know the other side of it. I know the other side of the coin because I'm now there. For you to fully connect in, you absolutely are required to figure out what's holding you back and to heal it, to do the work and not the fluffy. Kevin sent a message the other day. Sorry, Kevin, I used your name, but I just thought it was the best. How do we do the inner child work? Because I've been doing it for years and years. But every time I go to do it, it's just like unicorn farts and light and love. And that's why I won't preach light and love. I won't preach fourth dimensional consciousness. I won't dive into that because that's going to hold you back. It is doing the dive. It can be uncomfortable. And sometimes it's really hard to figure out what the belief is. And that is why I spent 20 years of my life formulating divine alignment and elite mentoring so that there is help for you. You can do that. I didn't have that honor, but that's what this whole company does. That's what we do in this world is help you do that. So you can begin that journey by diving into the timelines with your inner child and rewriting the story, changing the story, being their warrior, being their savior, being their nurturer, and bringing them forward here with you now. That's going to change a lot of things for you. A lot of things for you. From there, you're going to open up that gateway to a deeper connection because your vibration is higher. When your vibration is higher, higher vibrational wisdom and connection can connect into you. It can be expanded within you. So you can do it all. It's just how long you want to take and if you're struggling with it, right? So, but I did it all alone. And if I can figure it out, like, yeah, you can do it. It just takes some time and it takes a lot of determination. So to truly fully connect in, there's no magic button, there's no magic meditation, there's none of that. You have to do the work. There is the ability to absorb high vibrational energy, which is why I'm going to be hosting that 4-week program and why I'm coming back with the Galactic Ambassadors membership once a month, because I can share that energy with you, which will, warning, ready? If you're taking it, brace yourself, because as we go through these activations, what wants to be healed, it's going to be forced right into the surface and you're going to be looking right at it. Whether in that moment or the coming days afterwards, you are going to be very, very aware of, oh, it's this that wants to be healed. So it could be a little bit rocky, but if you know that going into it, you're going to soar, you're going to do great. So you can do it in that fashion, but without healing, you can't fully connect in. So get into your journal, get into processing, get into that deep dive. Allow yourself to be around high vibrational people who celebrate life, people who are full of laughter, people who are not going down the rabbit hole, but instead going into self. Have conversations about your trauma, open up and discover what your beliefs are. The more you are around energy that serves you, your energy will lift up from the outside in. It'll trigger, and then your inside out will radiate back out. And that's how you're going to have the big connections. And that's how you're going to do all of the things. Like, it's really crazy wild what you can connect into. So there is my for the day. Let me look at the comments one more time, and then we're going to go into energy forecast. I love you too. Beautiful goddess Diamond. No. Oh my God. Crazy. Love it. Is our higher self our future self? There is no such thing as future self. There is only the here and now. There is no such thing as time. If when you understand the power 369, there is nothing outside of right here, right now. Way complicated for the human brain to understand, but there is no future you. There is only what you are vibrationally becoming in this moment. Vibration is your experience. And whatever you choose to become vibrationally in this moment is what you will continue to experience. And that will continue to unfold and blossom for you. It's like a water fountain. Okay. So, water fountain, like in Vegas, like they have the whoa, water fountains. So we're a water fountain with a whole bunch of pebbles in it. And as you take out a pebble, AKA transmute, change a belief structure that doesn't work for you, you heal something, more water comes through, more water comes through. It doesn't move anywhere, the water fountain. It just becomes a more a bigger, fuller, higher, more radiant water fountain. And that's what you are. So your higher self is the highest evolved version of you vibrationally that you are connected to within your parallel timelines, which again is going back to, for those of you that done fully wake and ascend, that's the third level, the very, very end of the third level. So that's your highest self, the highest version of you. Mine is my galactic self right now. I just met, I think I did this in one of the YouTube series just recently. I just met a 4-year-old version of me from another timeline. And I was like, whoa. So I went and healed her. And when I did that, I went through a massive healing within 24 hours and a discovery of something that didn't serve me. And then that changed. And then I reconnected back into my galactic self who had also done the same thing. So everything is connected, everything. And as you heal this piece, it elevates everything else and vice versa. So it's really cool. Okay. My life is a great example of what not to do. Mine too. I know exactly what not to do. That's part of my journey, though. All right, let's dive in. I'm going to connect in. I got to reshuffle. Oh, there we go. Oh. All right. Sorry, I'm just having a moment. There is someone that shows up here regularly, and he knows who he is because he just reached out, and Brie had told me about it, and the response was, Diam always sees you. I just got a big download for you, so you know who you are. I haven't actually met you yet, but look at you guys. All right, we're going 1, 2, 3. Hit me in the comments. Are you going with a combination of 1, 2, 3? Is this a progression for you? What are we at? Let's feel it. Yes, you can meet the higher versions of yourself. Absolutely. That's in a meditative state. All right, we're doing 1, 2, 3, combination or progression. What are you feeling, guys? I'm seeing the numbers come in. Beautiful. Okay. All right. Beautiful. 2, 3, 1. Love it. Okay, I'm going to connect into number 1. Okay. I can't connect in yet. I can connect in yet, but I have to say something. It's so funny. I had this idea. Brie, if you're still on here, Lord help me, I'm changing gears here. Please remind me of this tomorrow in our team meeting. I have been feeling, I run a mentorship program, and there has been a lot of them that we have launched, and it is quite an investment, like a big investment. And I will never offer that for any other price because you have to be willing to invest in yourself if you're investing into the world and the purpose. It's complicated, but it is what it is. And I have been feeling someone's energy quite a bit, which has triggered something. And there's a big wave of 23, 24, and 25-year-olds right now that are the game changers on this planet. So in the next mentorship program, I want to offer 1 free seat for someone in that age bracket. But you have to do the work. So if you're not paying, you have to do the work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand select someone out of the Channeling Galactic group that we're doing, the 4-week group. So I'm going to hand select someone out of there for becoming a mentor, taking the mentorship program. So Brie, please write that down. I've been feeling it. That came through clear as day in my meditation, or not my meditation, but my drive home, which is also a meditation. So I'm going to do that for sure. I'm feeling that right now, especially when I flipped over number 1s. So number ones, I you got some vibes that are prime. Oh my god. So good. So good. So, um, yeah. So here we go. I just have the biggest smile over my face because I can see so much transition happening for you, number ones. So you are I feel like the energy I'm feeling is like you feel like you've been stuck behind closed doors or like where's the light? Like how do I get through? What's the path? What's this purpose? What is it that I'm meant to do? Like I don't understand. And then all of a sudden I can see your energies like opening up and you're like, "Oh my god, there it is. Like I'm going to step into this and this is amazing. You're going to have some momentum and this is what you're going to be feeling over the next little while." You're like, "Holy shit, like okay, I feel good about this. It's going to happen. It's going to happen." And you get out into that space. You're like, "Yes." And then there's another gate. And you're like, "Whoa." So I don't want you to get disheartened when you go through this. You're about to go through a high. That could be on anything. It could be a promotion. It could be love. It could be anything. It could be your actual ascension process, which I do believe it is. But you're going to feel this forward momentum and this excitement and elation. But then there's a big block. There's a big gate that says not yet. So I don't want you to get defeated. I feel like that's what's going to happen for you over the next little while, probably up until the new moon, which is on the 9th. So just be patient. It's the principle of rhythm. Rest. Number ones, you are being highly encouraged to understand how to step into the be no thing version of meditation, to clear the mind, to allow the mind to participate with the isness. Let your ego talk to the isness that is in you, aka your soul. Let the conversation happen there. Do not let your ego go into, oh, I've got to do this today, or that cringy memory, or I've got that on my plate, or how am I going to figure out that, or whatever story it's going off into. You're being encouraged to control, to teach, to harness your ego self, to merge with your isness, and to allow those two things to have a conversation together. There is massive fate. Fate isn't a word that I like to use, but like mission, galactic mission, purpose, game changing. You are a game changer, number ones, but you got to get the ego self trained. So you're going to spend all your time training it. Don't let it go off into crazy la la land. Bring it back into um, being present. So your goal is to practice presence, to practice being no thing, to surrender away from forward thinking, backwards thinking, here and now thinking. So your to do list is forward thinking. The, oh, I didn't, blah, blah, blah. That's backwards thinking. We're staying here and now. So you are on a mission right now to understand right here, right now, to empty out the unnecessary thought, get it out and connect into the isness and let your ego self and your isness have a conversation because there is massive big things coming for you. And that's when the other gate's going to open, but it will not open until you harness that. So you're sort of at a fork in the road where you're about to move through this gate or have moved through this gate. And you're like, oh, here we go. And the other gate's closing. You're like, ah, you have two choices in that moment to harness it and do what we just talked about. Or you're going to go backwards and you're going to recycle back into old habits and you're slowing down yourself. Don't be a dumbass. Don't block yourself. Don't do it. Get it figured out. Stat. Amazing. Let's go into number twos. All of the vibes for number twos. Oh, you guys are like gatekeepers for Gaia. Oh, number twos. Number twos, start to pay attention. The Schumann resonance, I think, is bullshit. I don't actually know though, but I think it's kind of bullshit. But it might not be. I don't really know. I'm not sure how I feel about it, so I don't pay attention to it. I pay attention to what I feel. But solar flare activity is going to be impacting you quite a bit. Number twos, I feel like there's this like dazed and confused, or the strong desire to have a nap, kind of moving through you. You're at a cycle of finishing up something really powerful in your belief structure and in your healing. So it could be a trauma trigger point in your body. It could be disharmony in the body, like an icky condition. but you are on the cusp of, like, closing the door to hardship with that particular thing, whatever that is. The solar flares are going to wear you out a little bit. Your ascension symptoms are gonna be a little bit higher, but what I'm hearing more so is the desire to nap. So, number 2 is you wanna be extremely patient with yourself right now. This is not a time to be, running forward into things, to launching things, to jumping 2 feet into, um high intense commitments, like, helping someone move, for example, it's the physical. Your physical, it needs rest. So, we don't wanna overcommit, we don't wanna be working out too hard, we wanna slow down that process, number 2s. Um, More meditation, make napitations. There is this space between, and it is a practice to get right in there, let me tell you, but there's a space between awake with your eyes closed and dead asleep. There's this little gap, when you start to, like, feel yourself drifting off. It's the gap right before that where you're going to find all of your expansion and your universal wisdom and your connections to all that is. So what I'm hearing for you is laying down, eyes closed, headphones on, no distractions, meditation. Not a guided meditation, that's not gonna serve you right now, number 2s. This is about learning your isness. So you're just gonna talk into, yeah, theta wave. Um, you're just gonna talk into your body. So I want you to move through. I want you to put on headphones, close your eyes, lay down so you're not thinking about your body. Nice cozy blanket, and you're going to talk to all 4 bodies. So you're going to scan your physical and you're going to talk to your physical. You're going to talk to your mental body, your ego self. You're going to talk to your emotional body, your inner child, and then you're going to let those 3 bodies talk to your spiritual body. And that's going to amplify your energetic body because that's what makes up the whole energetic body. With that, you're gonna understand what wants to be healed. I feel it's a very rapid transition you're about to go through. I feel like it's gonna be a little uncomfortable. Just a little bit. Um, that could be physically uncomfortable, like ascension symptoms, or it could be emotionally uncomfortable, but, just get some tissues and a blankie and a heating pad, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. But there is very much something that wants to be closed for you. There's very much something that wants to be no longer allowed in your life or in your mental thought. So you've got to figure out what that is, but you've got to, it's time. It's time to be like, and I'm not suggesting that you cut people out or your job or anything. Don't do anything drastic. I'm just saying within yourself, make the decision that it's over. And so let's say that you're wanting to walk away from a toxic romantic relationship. You're just going to own it inside yourself and be like, this is over. It's going to be so beautiful to watch how easily this transition unfolds for me. And you're going to own that story. But there is some healing. I'm also hearing that you're getting quite a bit of like root energy moving up your spine. So you may be having a little bit of intense back pain or stiffness, so you just wanna make sure that you're hydrated. You wanna make sure that you're like the things we know, hydrate and stretch, but talk to it. Talk to your physical discomfort. Put your hands on it, talk to it, and tell it, "It's okay, you can let go. I've got you." Really important, but there's like this electrical energy that I'm seeing moving up your spine. So in this, you may also, which is really fun, you may have a Kundalini lift, but there's also a Galactic Kundalini. That's the only way I can think of describing it. It's a meditation that just electrifies you. It's amazing. It's euphoric, but it's a little scary if you've never had it happen before. So when it starts to happen, you're going to feel almost like it could be like your bed's vibrating, like someone's at the bottom of your bed pushing your bed. It could feel like there's a cat walking on the bed. It could feel like something touch your leg and gently move up to your knee. I've had that experience. You might feel the blanket shift. You may feel your arms starting to move or your head move side to side. Or when it first started happening for me, this is way back, so I got to remember. It was like my whole body tightened up from like the belly button out, and it was just like tightened. And then my breath was like really shallow, and my body kept tightening and tightening and tightening. And then my body started to tremble. That might happen. If that does happen, I want you to just breathe and try and let the muscle go. It's just a really intense energy moving through you. And so the body reacts to it, but you can soften and let it move through you. But it is intense and it is really exciting. And it's so awesome when it's done. Hip pain, root area. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I gotta look at this big one here. that, love that, love that. Napitation. Listening to you and jogging. I'll be napitating as soon as I'm done here. You do what feels right for you. Someone asked listening to 8D music. 8D, if you're neurodivergent, you're either going to love it or hate it. 8D music is just music that bounces from headphone to headphone, which for me helps my ego not fall asleep because my ego's like, ooh, right ear, ooh, left ear. And then I have to be like, shh, we're not talking. And then it's just this noticing of the music floating back and forth. So I really enjoy it. Um, Frequency wise, if it's immediate, like, uncomfortable, don't do it. If you're listening to Hertz, just pick what feels good. If it doesn't feel good or it feels ugh, do not do it. Do not, you're not ready for it. Okay, let's go into number threes. What the actual? Okay, hi. Um, Let me just get this on. This is a really big message for number threes. I just keep hearing Saturn, and I don't understand why I'm hearing Saturn. Is there something going on with Saturn? Is it retrograding? Is it screaming? What is it doing? But there's something with Saturn for number threes. I'm not getting anything other than just Saturn. Well, I'm getting a lot of it, but in regards to Saturn, I'm just hearing the planet Saturn. So there's something really interesting about that for you. I don't know what that means. Um, so there's that. You're obsessed. Of course you are. We need to catch up, Shayla. Um, okay, so there's that piece. Um, this is a very good message. I'm trying to think of how much I can actually say here and get away with. Um, Hi, soul family, galactic family, like we're connected. Number threes. We have a lot of similar origin. We're from the same kind of vibe. Saturn is a Pisces, right? My ascendant. Okay. Going through my Saturn return. This is so funny. Um, so whoever's picked number three is like definitively is like, "Hey, it's number three for me." You and I have a lot in alignment, a lot in alignment. And I feel that you are coming, you are masters of the dark. And this is a good thing in my personal viewpoint. You are masters of the dark. So I want number threes, I want you to spend some time allowing that overwhelming power that exists in the dark to move through you and trust it. Not, and I don't mean dark evil. That's not what I mean. I mean, you understand the trenches, you understand the shadow self, you understand the power that comes in absolute determination. You are powerful. You are like beyond game changers. You are intense, intense. You are spicy. You are all those things. You are meant to be. So please do not shun any of those pieces of yourself. Um, I very much remember as a little girl looking in my own eyes and being like, I think I'm evil. Like, what is wrong with me? Because I'm part Draco and I'm dark. And there was a definitive moment in my life where I was given a contract to sign, energetic contract, where my highest ascendant self came forward with a contract and said, it's like red pill, blue pill. Like, where are you going? What side are you doing? Are you going to do what you came here to do? Or are you going to go off and be greedy with this power? Because I could have used my power for a lot of different things. I'm crazy psychic. Um, so I signed the contract of mission. And I feel like a lot of you are going to be getting that defining moment right now. You want to have that defining conversation with yourself of what am I absolutely devoted to and dedicated to? You are either going to go way off in the dark or you're going to come out of the dark and use that. One of the big visions I had when I knew I had arrived was myself. I was in this like ripped black gown and I was walking down a dark road and there was woods everywhere and I was walking like a model. I was like, oh, and I still walk like that. I'm not thin enough to be a model, but whatever. Anyways, I strut. Anyway, so I'm strutting down this path and I'm owning my power and I'm just fierce. And all these wolves came out and walked beside me. And then these bears came out. And then this massive dragon was behind me. And then all of these powerful creatures that when humanity sees them goes, oh, scary, were my entourage. And I was like, "Oh my god, that's it. It's that power, it's that boldness, it's that fierceness." That's why for so long it was be brave, be bold, be raw is what I would say instead of thank you, I love you. Because it was just like owning that power. So you're mastering your power in the dark right now, your power of the darkness. This is part of your contract here. This is part of your evolution, the part of what you're going to bring forward within your mission. This is incredible, amazing knowing and like you're powerful, but you're learning your power. So don't be afraid of the dark. Don't be afraid of, as I said, that I just had this like dumbass moment. Up until I moved into this property, I was terrified of the dark, but I am the dark. So, like, why was I afraid of myself? I'm going to be voice clipping Sarah Rose very shortly about this. Just blah, moment that's going to lead into something. But anyway, um, so this is the nothing is written stone, but you are um, stepping onto the platform. You're stepping onto the platform of this is what I'm going to be devoted to. So number threes, you are about to move in 2024. Over the course of 2024, it'll be very, very clear to you where you're going, what you're doing with this. So, and it has something to do with Saturn. So I don't even know. I got to go Google some stuff and figure that out. Um, yeah, it's huge. So what are you going to commit to? What have you mastered in the dark? What have you mastered about your shadow self? That's going to be a big piece of what you bring forward as well. So do some review on the dark. When I unknowingly, when I was in my anger phase, which is a phase we go through, I used my dark to project onto others, not random strangers, but those who I thought at the moment deserved it. I was a complete asshole. Um, and I projected hard and I burned bridges like, oh man, I was fire. So go into those timelines and ask, what did that past version of you learn? How they experienced their power, but they didn't use it the way that they could now. So how can you reformulate that to use it towards the good? Not the good, because I hate the good and bad, but the evolutionary process. You know what I'm saying? You guys are really, really powerful. Okay, I'm gonna look at comments. I thought the thing in your backyard being a shadow. Actually, the thing in my backyard, Bob, ended up being the higher ascended version of my brother here on this planet. Not my soul, not my blood brother, but my galactic brother. And then once we discovered that, it was his higher self hanging out with me so that I would push him into being his higher self so that he could connect with Bob. So he's Bob, I'm Max. It's super weird. And now Bob's not there anymore. So there's that. Um, but it was a really, really, really wild experience. My goodness. Okay. Used to be terrified of the dark. And now I feel like I own it. Yes. Love that. Love it. Beautiful. I love the dark because now I'm aware that the dark is simply the unknown and that fear is simply the unknown. And the moment that I have fear or I step into the dark, I am the creator of what's next. And I love that. I feel so powerful to me. It was a big game changer for me. All right. That is all, my darlings. I will not be live next Thursday. I think. Let me look at my schedule. I think it's next Thursday I'm away. And then I'm away in Mexico again, the end of the month. Yes, next Thursday I will not be live, but I will be live on the 15th. There's lots of information that I'm trying to put up in YouTube right now. So I've got my own Ascension series. I've got the Pathway to Freedom Advice to Yesterday's Self series that I just started. Recovering Toxic is now up. Those podcasts, they're real unfiltered. They're real triggering. Hold the fuck on, but they're amazing. So that's a new podcast that's up. There's a merch line, recoveringtoxic.com, where I've got a t-shirt that actually says, don't be a dumbass. I'll wear it next time for you. It's so much fun. I love it. And then we've got Shadow Work as a Bitch with Sarah Rose. Fucking phenomenal. Then we've got talking shift as well, um, where it's always a guest, a different guest. So Karen's been on there talking about intimacy. Uh, I can't even remember. Like I'm so like so many things. Andrea's been in there talking about inner child. Sarah Rose and I always do something pretty spicy. The monthly forecast is up now. Newsletter comes out tonight. It's got the link to the monthly forecast. It's also got all the details on the upcoming 4 week learning to channel your galactic energy. I don't even remember what it's called, program that we're doing. And I will be hand selecting someone out of that program to join the next mentorship group. Can I follow you on Instagram or YouTube? You can follow me anywhere you want. Everything's Diamond No. TikTok is diamond.no. YouTube is Diamond No. That's what I'm on right now, but I think it's also live on Facebook right now. And Instagram is Diamond No. Nikki and Bree take care of all of the social media platforms and messages that we get there. I'm not available for that anymore, unfortunately, but you'll see my face all over it. So that's super fun. All right. And you'll see everybody else as well, all of the other mentors. Okay. Thanks for hanging out with me. An hour and 25 minutes. How do I do this? I thought it was like half an hour. I thought I was flying through this today. All right. I'm going away now. I'll see you guys when I see you. Mwah. Until I see you again or until you see me again, go look in the mirror and find a million reasons to say thank you. I love you. All right. Bye.